All right, good morning, happy Wednesday. Welcome to today's edition of the Daily Digest from the Columbia Tribune newsroom. We're going to give you a little preview of what to expect in today's newspaper. And with me today is Jodie Jackson. He was at a very popular event, but may not be so popular anymore, it seems like, the annual Cow Patty Bingo. So tell us about that, Jodie.
Cow Patty Bingo for 23 or 24 years, depending on the records, held by the Perchy Creek Yacht Club. This event has raised over $100,000 for the food bank and other charities through the years. Perchy Creek Yacht Club relinquished the organizing of this event to the Midway Optimist Club. And last night's Cow Patty Bingo event took place at Little General Midway, the Little General store in Midway, where it has always been. And there were only a few dozen people showed up for this, partly because they got a really late start on planning. Normally this happens in August or September. This is just barely 2 weeks before the election. Several of the candidates were already committed to other things. Only one candidate was there to speak on her behalf. But this year's event raised money, and we don't know the amount yet, but it raised money for St. Raymond's Society, the food bank, and Midway Heights Elementary School.
It's a very interesting event. Why do they call it Cow Patty Bingo?
Well, they call it Cow Patty Bingo because there is a Guernsey dairy cow in a marked grid in a corral, and wherever the cow makes a deposit on the square that corresponds, it will make a deposit on a square that corresponds with a poster that also has a marked grid. And if you bought the square that the cow made a movement on, then you win, you split the amount that was raised for selling that card. It really isn't that complicated.
Make it sound a little bit more complicated. It's very interesting. It's definitely not something I had ever really experienced before coming around here. So what to expect in today's paper is obviously we've got coverage of that from last night. As we get closer to Election Day, we also have lots of other election stories. There were two forums held last night, and our reporter Brittany Roos was at both of those, one hosted by the Chamber of Commerce and one hosted by the local NAACP. So we'll have coverage of both of those. We also have profiles and an issue-based story on the candidates in the 47th District for the Missouri House. So take a look at that today by Rudy Keller. And then we also have stories. There was an ethics complaint filed against a local candidate for county commission. And we also have an update on a case involving the Montauk County prosecuting attorney, Shane Helia. So look for that and more in today's paper.